Internet of Things. What is the Internet of Things? IoT. Now, the Internet of Things describes the network of physical objects, things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies used for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the Internet. The Internet of Medical Things is instrumental for the development of products that need less or no human interaction to provide healthcare services. So connected medical devices, equipment, and infrastructure enable multiple applications like automatic disinfection, smart diagnoses, and remote patient management. Cognitive IOMT, a recent development, integrates sensory information, automatic processing, and communication through networks for real-time diagnoses, monitoring, tracking, and disease control. And then we have the intelligence of things, which combines the Internet of Things with AI. These items can communicate and operate without human intervention and offer many advantages for healthcare professionals. Okay, now we're going to look at the impact of Internet of Things on healthcare monitoring devices, such as connected contact lenses, connected inhalers, glucose monitoring, hand hygiene monitoring, heart rate monitoring, Parkinson's disease monitoring, ingestible sensors. I think some of you might find this very, very fascinating. Remote patient monitoring, and lastly, robotic surgery. Now, for connected contact lenses, smart contact lenses provide an opportunity for collecting healthcare data in a very passive and non-intrusive way. And they could also include micro cameras that allow wearers to take pictures with their eyes, which is probably why companies like Google have patented connected contact lenses. So whether they are used to improve health outcomes or for other purposes, smart lenses promise to turn human eyes into a powerful tool for digital interactions. And the next one, number 2, connected inhalers. Conditions such as asthma or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, they often involve sudden attacks that happen with little warning. So IoT connected inhalers can help patients by monitoring the frequency of attacks, as well as collecting data from the environment to help healthcare providers understand what triggered an attack. Also, connected inhalers can alert patients when they leave their inhalers at home, so they will not be without an inhaler if they happen to have an attack outside the house. The third one, glucose monitoring. For more than 30 million Americans with diabetes, glucose monitoring has traditionally been difficult. Not only is it inconvenient to have to check glucose levels and manually record results, but doing so only reports a patient's glucose levels at the exact time the test is provided. So if levels fluctuate widely, periodic testing may not be sufficient to detect a problem. IoT devices can help address these challenges by providing continuous automatic monitoring of glucose levels in patients. Number 4, hand hygiene monitoring. Traditionally, there hasn't been a good way to ensure that providers and patients inside the healthcare facility wash their hands properly. But today, many hospitals and other healthcare operations use IoT devices to remind people to sanitize their hands when they enter hospital rooms. The devices can even give instructions on how best to sanitize so as to mitigate a particular risk for a particular patient. The fifth one, heart rate monitoring. Like glucose, monitoring heart rates can be challenging, even for patients who are present in healthcare facilities. Conventional devices for continuous cardiac monitoring used in hospitals require patients to be attached to wired machines constantly, which impairs their mobility. But today, a variety of small IoT devices are available for heart rate monitoring, allowing patients to move around freely while ensuring that their hearts are monitored continuously. And also, these modern devices can deliver accuracy rates of about 90% or better. Number 6, Parkinson's disease monitoring. In order to treat Parkinson's patients most effectively, healthcare providers must be able to assess how the severity of their symptoms fluctuate throughout the day. IoT sensors make this task much easier by continuously collecting data about Parkinson's symptoms. And at the same time, the devices give patients the freedom to go about their lives in their own homes, instead of having to spend long periods in a hospital for observation. 7, ingestible sensors. Collecting data from inside the human body is usually a very massive and highly disruptive affair. No one enjoys having a camera or probe stuck into their digestive tract, for example. But with ingestible sensors, it is possible to collect information from digestive and other systems in a much less invasive way. And they provide insights into stomach pH levels, for example, and can also help pinpoint the source of internal bleeding. These devices must be small enough to be swallowed easily. They must also be able to dissolve or pass through the human body cleanly on their own. And several companies are now working hard on ingestible sensors to meet those criteria. Number 8, remote patient monitoring is the most common application of IoT devices for healthcare. IoT devices can automatically collect health metrics like heart rate, blood pressure, temperature, and even more from patients who are not physically present in a healthcare facility, eliminating the need for patients to travel to the providers. When an IoT device collects patients' data, it forwards the data to a software application where healthcare professionals and patients can view it. Algorithms may be used to analyze the data in order to recommend treatments or generate alerts. However, a major challenge with remote patient monitoring devices is ensuring that the highly personal data that these IoT devices collect is secure and private. And lastly, for this section, the impact of IoT on robotic surgery. By deploying small internet-connected robots inside the human body, surgeons can perform complex procedures that would be difficult to manage using human hands. At the same time, robotic surgeries performed by small IoT devices can reduce the size of incisions required to perform surgery, leading to a less invasive process and faster healing for patients. These devices must be small and reliable enough to perform surgeries with minimal disruption. They must also be able to interpret complex conditions inside bodies in order to make the right decisions about how to proceed during a surgery. And IoT robots are already being used for surgery, showing that these challenges can be adequately addressed. How do we get started? An introduction to programming the Internet of Things specialization offered by UC Irvine on Coursera. Internet of Things offered by IBM. The Introduction to Internet of Things offered by Stanford School of Engineering. Introduction to the Internet of Things offered by Curtin University. An Introduction to the Internet of Things and Embedded Systems offered by the University of California, Irvine on Coursera. Additional learning materials for you guys. Artificial Intelligence and Internet of Things by ResearchGate. Intelligence in the Internet of Medical Things Era. A systematic review of current and future trends by Science Direct. Intelligence of Things, Opportunities and Challenges by IEEE Explore, the Internet of Things, an overview by ResearchGate, and the Internet of Things, Impact and Implications for Healthcare Delivery by JMIR Publications. Now it is poll time. We have come to the end of the section for Internet of Things. So I'll be launching a poll, just launched. Question 1, IoT is the key driver behind smart home security systems. What do you think? And question 2, IoT describes physical objects that are embedded with sensors. What do you guys think? As I mentioned before, it's just a poll. You get it wrong, it doesn't matter. What's important is that you find some of the content that we're presenting to you today interesting. And please, if there's something that that has captured your special attention, you're very, very interested in it, go for it. Because it can open doors to other subjects of interest that you never thought that you could possibly be passionate about. Okay, more than half of you have participated. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the poll and share the results with you. IoT is the key driver behind smart home security systems. Indeed, it is. And number 2, IoT describes physical objects that are embedded with sensors. Yes, it is. That is the case also. Thank you for participating in the poll.